All right. Hi, everybody. It is What's Up Weekly Tranont Men's Health. It is episode number 24, almost 25. That's a, quarter century. That's awesome. But it's Bill right here. We have Chuck O'Donnell over here, and we have our guest this week, Troy. And Troy, thanks so much for joining us. I know we're time zones away. We're time zones away from the Eastern to the Western time zone, and we make it work. That's the awesome thing about Tranont. So we're meeting for the first time tonight, but we've been in talks. So tell us a little bit about yourself for the people that are watching, who you are, what got you into Tranont, a little bit about the start of your story there.
My name is Troy Waggoner. I live in the Pacific Northwest, great state of Oregon, little town called Sweet Home. And I am a father of 6 kids, 5 girls. And so it's quite hectic for me.
Yeah. You need the products. You need the products. Yeah.
I definitely need the products. I was introduced to Tranont 2 years ago, and I tried what they called Life Now Enrich at the time, and it was literally okay. I took it here and there, didn't really get into it, but I ended up a friend of mine that I've known for about 33 years from high school. She saw that I was in pain one day, and she introduced me to our wonderful CBD. And that was pretty much the game changer for me. I signed up the next day. And it was I just could not believe, that I could get a full 8 hours sleep.
Wow.
And I literally, if I can tell a little bit of my backstory,
Yeah.
I have a rare joint disorder called trichorhinophalangeal syndrome. I've had arthritis since the age of 15, and I'm now 51 years old. 12 years ago, doctors looked at me and said, "You're pretty much done. You're going to be in a wheelchair by the time you're 50." And they literally said, "Okay, this is what we're going to do. We can't do anything. We can't cure you, but you are going to have to live like this." So they put me on a regiment and said, "Go home." And it was pretty much a death sentence, is what they pretty much handed me. And I just could not, it's like, okay, this is what I'm going to be, this way my life's going to come out to fruition. And I literally, they disabled me, said, "You're done." Doctors, the government said, "Nope, you're done." And I couldn't ride bike anymore, couldn't drive truck. It was one of the things I was doing, was driving truck, long haul. And doctors put me on this medicine. "Oh, but you'll be able to work." And the medicines literally caused me to black out when I was driving. And I said, "I'm done." And that was pretty much the game changer. So it just, I love this company. I came into this company 2 years ago, and it just literally has changed my life with everything that has happened. When doctors gave me my sentence, as I call it, they put me on morphine twice daily, Percocet 3 times a day, gabapentin 2,400 milligrams a day, and they start you out at 100 a day, and then Flexeril 2 times a day, and depending on the day, sometimes I take 2 at a time. Lipitor for cholesterol, and it just made me a zombie pretty much, and I was just walking around, and I just wasn't happy.
So were you taking, so you said Enrich and you said the CBD oil. Were there other things you took from Tranont as well that you were trying with the same things?
When I first started, I tried the Soothe, and that helped with the pain. And then I was told, hey, you should look into this. So I started looking into the Enrich, the Imbalance, and the 4-core. But I didn't stop there. I use Glow continuously. It has helped tremendously with my inflammation, the arthritis, and I feel better today than I did 25 years ago. And it's just the change that it gives. I mean, I can ride bike again.
Oh, wow.
And it's just amazing.
So at what point, like, did you find, I'm going to say, the courage to go, I know you're working with the doctors the entire time, I'm sure. So you were like, I don't think I need all these things. Like, how did you determine that, I guess?
Well, being on all those medications, my numbers were through the roof. My triglycerides, the top of the chart for triglycerides is 499. My triglycerides were 472. And when I started taking the 4-core, my triglycerides went down to 197. My cholesterol was through the roof. I mean, it was just crazy what pharmaceuticals were doing to me. And then with that, I was like, okay, and I don't recommend this to anybody without speaking with your physician. I had enough. I had said, okay, I'm done. And I weaned myself off of all of them, sure. And then kept the 4-core. And literally with that, I turned around and had a Zoom meeting with my doctor. And he goes, man, the meds are doing great. He saw my numbers and he's like, we're doing great. Let's just keep it up. And I said, hey, I have to be honest with you, doc. I said, I've been off room for 3 months. And he goes, what are you doing? And I said, I went all natural. And he said, keep doing it.
Wow.
And in March, amazing. Yeah. And in March of 22, he signed and took me off what they call pain management plan. He took me off of that and stated that I am no longer on the pharmaceuticals.
So what is what's your normal routine like, throughout the day? Like, how do you stage out some of these things? Like, what do you do with all the different Tranont products that you're taking?
What do you mean? What my routine?
Yeah. What's a day look like? Yeah.
Well, I do the 4-core. And then I also do Glow in the morning and evening. And then I also do Transform now. Love Transform. They keep coming out with such great products.
Right.
Now Transform's one of the favorites. I don't have a favorite. So, when they came out with the cleanser in March, I went a step above and beyond. And, I thought, I'm going to try this. I work on cars. And so, I constantly get greasy. And I'm like, I had to wash my hands one day and all I had was cleanser. And I'm like, I'm just going to try something. And it works better than any soap that I've ever used. I mean, it literally, and it softens my skin. It doesn't, it doesn't crack and peel from all the chemicals I deal with, on a daily basis. And so it's just, the products just keep getting better and better. And it's like, where are they going to go from here?
How long have you been taking the Transform for?
Since Vegas, TLA.
Okay.
I've been taking it, and I'm down 13 pounds now. So
yeah. And so is that the biggest noticeable piece for it? Because obviously it's newer in your routine. So the Transform, what did you immediately notice, or was it more sequential over time? My experience, like over 2 weeks, I started to notice little things. Some people have more the like, okay, within day 1 or 2, I'm noticing this. Where were you on that piece? Obviously, you mentioned the weight loss over time, but was there stuff in between then and now?
I also have a lot more energy.
Mhm.
That is one of the biggest things that I've noticed. I will literally forget about lunch when I'm at a shop or something. I will literally go through and I will just work constantly through the day. There's no brain fog. There's no,
Yeah.
just constant go, go, go for me. And before I know it, 10 hours have gone by. So,
Yeah, I agree. And we've talked a lot about, even on last week's episode, about addition by subtraction, right? And so, yes, this product is amazing and it's making us feel all these things, but I am driving past fast food chains. I am not going into these things. I'm not spending a lot of time there. I don't want to snack at night. So all those money I put into snacks and, the extra whatevers and all these things, sometimes we get, well, that's, your product is a little bit expensive. I'm like, yeah, but what do you get out of it aside, in
Right.
addition to like all those subtractions that you're pulling away, even our company on the, we get into the jade ranks, like, they'll they'll give you a stipend for a Jeep. I'm like, think of all that
yeah.
where that money, if you take it here and move it here. And that's what we're trying to really get at. You've highlighted it. I'm not even going to really ask my question about why Tranont, why now, because like you have just nailed it in your description of how it's impacted you. But we've talked about lifespan and health span. I use life changing or game changing a lot. Yours
Yeah.
is life changing, like
Yeah.
absolutely life changing. And so from that standpoint, I really truly have nothing to add on here. Your story is amazing to me. I know, Chuck, you've had a lot of experience when you went through your cancer treatments as well. Do you want to speak a bit to that for those people that are maybe catching it for the first time?
Well, I mean, I had colorectal cancer. It was 3B, stage 3B. I had to fight it for a year. I did 9 weeks of chemo and radiation. And then they took 18 inches of my colon out. I had a temporary ileostomy bag. I didn't know it was going to be temporary. Thank goodness it was temporary. And I also had another 18 weeks of chemo after that. And for me, the first product that really changed me was the Enrich. Um, because I was just told that was my new normal, my digestion and stuff. And when I tried Enrich, I was back to being normal, or what's considered normal. I wasn't in the bathroom, 6, 7, 8 times a day. So, which, I'm not really a germaphobe, but during COVID, when you're in the bathroom like that, like you're just like, what germs am I picking up in here? Like, I'd like to eliminate going there as many times as I am. And Enrich really did that. But for me too, with, arthritis in my back and starting to feel it in my hands, Glow has really changed it. Those are really the two products that I really resonate with. I love the Transform. For me, the most noticeable thing for me with Transform is I have a better. I mean, I'm a positive guy to begin with, but the stresses of the day don't wear me out like they used to wear me out. Like I can handle them better. Um, maybe that's more of that no brain fog. I'm just thinking clear, and maybe that's just how I interpret it. But and Bill, we've talked about all these products. You can take one or you can take 10, but they all work really well together.
Yeah,
And something out there for,
synergistically.
yeah, they're not even products, they're solutions. If there's something that
Yeah.
you're ailing you, they're a solution, right? And Troy, that's incredible that you found that solution that allows you and gave your life back after so many people have given up. That's
Yeah.
gotta feel tremendous.
Well, I mean, one of the biggest things is, and you talked about the price. Um, it's like I look at it in two different ways. One, what I was spending in pharmaceuticals, compared to what I'm spending this, and two, what it was costing me in life, because I wasn't able to do what I can, I can't enjoy my grandchildren before. Now I can, and I can keep up with them, and that's what I look at is like, that was it. Even if something were to cost more than what my pharmaceuticals were costing, it's like it's still worth it because in the long run, my life is better now than it. I mean, I don't know. It's just, I still have the joint disorder. It will always be there, but it will constantly be on the sidelines because I'm able to do more stuff. So
Yeah, just
and I'm wondering about timing for me, because there's a lot of things I've been open about my sort of mental health issues in the past, and just how when your body has enough energy and it can give you that mental energy, whether it's clarity or just you have more energy to fight those battles those days when it's dark. But I started with, even in my gut health issues, I started with my gallbladder, and then it was my appendix. And in retrospect, I wonder how far that was going down until, maybe it was something in my digestive system or something worse. Like maybe it was trying to tell me something, and it led me to these products, because I was very similar, where I had that travelers tell me I was worried about going to work that day. If I was going to take a plane trip, absolutely not. I would not eat. And that's not healthy for you either. So it's just part of that piece. So it's been a game changer. It's timely, I think, is the story for us, is these products are timely in our lives. Sometimes I wish I found them sooner.
yeah.
At least we found them, I think. And I'll leave my kind of reflection there. Troy, I said I wasn't going to do it because we should have summed it up that point, but I kept the conversation going. But in terms of things maybe we didn't hit, or I know you kind of alluded to, again, the why Tranont, why now, like the impact it can make on one's life. But is there something we didn't hit? Is there something from your story, or if somebody's watching again for the first time, that they just have to know about this company and why now?
Well, I mean, just the thing that I really believe is that if you value your health and want to be here for your family, especially for guys, you want to be here for your family, you got to look at this. I mean, I see so many people that are just miserable in life because, they're just brought down because of everything, that they have to, they've been, you know, life throws at them, and just to have, some sense of hope, that, hey, I'm going to be around, and be able to enjoy weddings and, just go out and, just give it a try.
what have you
It's
got to
just
lose? Yeah.
unbelievable.
So
Yep.
Troy, you mentioned you're working in the shop and stuff. I'm assuming there's other guys, or you got guy friends that know your story. And I'm always saying I've got dumb friends, and I say that with love, but they just won't try. Like, are you able to convince people with your story? Or I mean, like, how do you get the other guys around you to give it a shot?
Literally today, I reached out to a friend of mine, and he purchased a bottle of Transform today that I had, and he goes, "I've been watching you and seeing the change that you've gone through, and you know, people are commenting, they're messaging me and saying, hey, you look so different from when I knew you years ago." And they're like, "What are you doing?" And they're like, "You gotta see, you just gotta see, you gotta understand, you gotta try it." And they just literally, they're like, "Oh, okay," and some of them, gravitate towards it, and then they feel better. But then you're gonna have naysayers,
Always.
but
Yep.
always. But most of my associates and my customers are women, because they know. I mean, but and that's why guys just need to, you know, take it and say, hey, my health is worth it, and I need to, you know, we don't, I know when I was younger, we don't know, we're invincible. That's what we always thought,
Yep.
you know. So
Yes,
Yep.
we are. Still try to think I'm that way, but I'm always the oldest person in the room. Always. I used to be the youngest person in the room. Now I'm the oldest person in the room.
Yep. It's not funny, because it's the same conversation we're having, but you'll hear, whether it's at the shop or at the sports game or the whatever, and there'll be comments about, oh, I wish I had more money, no money, this, everything's so expensive. And then you hear about, oh, my knees, I feel so older, like this. And you're just like, you're like, hello, you're trying not to be that guy that always brings it up. At the same time, I'm just getting to the point of, I'm doing a disservice by not bringing it up to them. I was a little bit more passive and trying to say, well, I heard you say this before, and hopefully they would come in, but we just take longer, I think, to observe and kind of connect, where some of our other colleagues and I have men that are benefiting from it, but as a whole, it's been like, I'm 19 and a half months, I think, almost 20 months on the journey, and people are just starting to come around in my hockey league to give it a shot, and at least they are. So maybe that will be their time that they will find it and benefit from it. So I still have the
Yeah.
faith in the positive intentions for it, but you're right. I want to get as many people who say, I wish I found it sooner. I want to lessen that as much as I can, and as much as we can. But Troy, thank you for telling your story. So
Yeah, great
impactful.
story, man. Great
Man,
story.
and you know what, you communicated awesomely, but it's lived. You've spoken from the heart, and I'm so happy that these products found you, and that I got to meet you, and that Chuck got to meet you as part of the Tranont Men's Health movement. And I know the people that are watching will tag people, and we'll also get to see people. It's starting to get going, so hopefully more people, specifically guys, our products are for all, of course.
Yeah.
Specifically guys can see themselves and move quicker into those so they can enjoy life. So from that, we're thankful. Thank you,
Great.
Troy. We'll keep in touch. Chuck, as always, episode 24 in the books. Thanks for being an awesome partner, bud.
24 episodes.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks, Troy. Have a good night, everybody.
Later.